The Clockmaker's Midnight. There was once a clockmaker named Vincent who had spent 50 years creating perfect timepieces. His clocks never lost a second. People traveled from distant cities just to own one of his creations. But Vincent had a secret. While he built clocks for everyone else, his own dreams sat gathering dust in a corner, unwritten books, unpainted canvases, places he'd never visited, letters he'd never sent. On December 31st, 2025, at 11 p.m., Vincent sat alone in his workshop, staring at the dozens of clocks on his walls. In 1 hour, 2026 would begin. Another year, another chance. But what was the point? He was 70 years old, too late to change, too old to start over. There was a knock at his door. A young man stood there, out of breath, holding a broken pocket watch. "Please," he said, "my grandfather gave me this before he died. He told me never to waste a single moment. But I dropped it, and it stopped working. Tomorrow I start my dream job, but I keep thinking, what if I fail? What if I'm not ready? What if it's too late for me to change my life? I'm 35. I feel like I've already wasted so much time." Vincent took the watch and began to repair it. As he worked, he asked quietly, "Why are you really here?" The young man sank into a chair. "Because I've been standing at a crossroads for 5 years, playing it safe, telling myself, next year I'll make a change. But next year never comes. Tonight, holding my grandfather's broken watch, I realized I'm wasting moments. I'm living like I have infinite time, and I don't." Vincent set down his tools. The clocks showed 11:15 p.m., 45 minutes until midnight. "Let me tell you something," Vincent said. "I've spent 50 years building perfect clocks. And you know what I've learned? Time doesn't run out. Courage does." He walked to a dusty corner and pulled out a box filled with unfinished dreams. "This is my collection of later. Every item here represents a moment when I chose safety over courage. When I said I'll do it when I am ready, or it is too late for me now." He picked up a list of places he'd never visited. Paris, Tokyo, the Northern Lights. I told myself I'd go when my business was established. Then, when I retired, then when I had enough money, there was always a reason to wait. And now I'm 70, and I've never left this village. The young man stared at the box. "But you're successful. Everyone knows your name." "I'm successful at building boxes for other people's time," Vincent said, "while my own time sat unused. And every excuse I made was perfectly reasonable. I'm too busy, it's not the right time. I'll do it next year." They were all true, and they were all lies. 11:30 p.m. 30 minutes until midnight. Vincent finished repairing the watch and held it up, ticking steadily. "This watch will measure every second of your life, but it won't tell you what to do with those seconds. That's your choice." He looked the young man in the eyes. "Choosing to wait is a choice. Choosing to be safe is a choice. Every moment you spend preparing to live is a moment you're not living." "So what do I do?" the young man asked. "You stop treating tomorrow like a promise and start treating today like a gift. You stop asking, 'What if I fail?' and start asking, 'What if I don't try?'" Vincent gestured to his box. "Every single thing in here was possible. But I was waiting for the perfect moment, and the perfect moment never came. Because it doesn't exist." The young man stood, clutching the watch. "I'm going to do it. Tomorrow, January 1st, 2026. I'm going to start my business. I'm going to risk everything." As he reached the door, Vincent called out, "Wait. What's the first thing you're going to do tomorrow? The very first action?" The young man thought for a moment. "I'm going to send the email. The one I've been drafting for 3 years, to potential investors. I'm going to send it before I can talk myself out of it." Vincent nodded. Good, a specific action. Not a plan, not a resolution, an action. That's how you start. After the young man left, Vincent sat alone. 11:55 p.m. 5 minutes until midnight. He looked at his box of later, at 50 years of some days that never came. Then he pulled out his half-written novel. It was good, raw, but good, full of passion he'd forgotten he had. 11:58 p.m. Vincent grabbed a pen. At the top of the next blank page, he wrote, January 1st, 2026. Chapter continues. He began writing. The words flowed like water from a broken dam. 11:59 p.m. Every clock in the workshop ticked toward midnight. Vincent kept writing. He wasn't thinking about whether it was good enough. He wasn't thinking about his age or his wasted years. He was just writing. Midnight struck. Every clock chimed at once, announcing the birth of 2026. Vincent didn't stop writing. For the first time in 50 years, he wasn't measuring time. He was using it. The lesson right now: you stand at the threshold of 2026 with your own box of later, filled with dreams you've been postponing, the business you've been planning, the skill you've been meaning to learn, the risk you've been preparing to take, the life you've been getting ready to live. Here's the brutal truth. Time doesn't run out. Courage does. Every day you wait, your courage gets smaller. Your dreams become more distant. Your someday becomes more comfortable than your today. You tell yourself you'll start when you're more prepared, when you have more time, when conditions are perfect. But perfect conditions are a myth. You don't get ready, then start. You start, then become ready. What's the first action you will take on January 1st, 2026? Not, I'm going to work on my business. What is the specific action you will take in the first 24 hours? Send the email you've been drafting, register the domain name, make the phone call you've been avoiding, write the first 500 words, sign up for the course. One specific action. January 1st, before noon. Because if you can't commit to one action, you won't commit to the whole journey. 2026 is not the year of preparation. It's the year of execution. Stop treating your dreams like they're optional. Stop waiting for the right time. Stop asking, what if I fail? And start asking, what if I don't try? The only difference between who you are and who you want to be is action. Imperfect, messy, scared action. As 2025 ends and 2026 begins, the clocks are ticking. The year is turning. The blank page is waiting. Like, follow, subscribe, Motivational Tales, and let's get grow together in 2026.